This video will show you how to replace an AC condenser on a Subaru Outback. This will be located across the front of your engine compartment. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. To replace the AC condenser, the first thing you have to do is have a professional evacuate the AC refrigerant. Once you've done that, we can get started. Now we're going to make our way into the engine compartment. This is where we can see our air inlet tube. We're going to dislodge that by removing 2 plastic push clips. Let's take hold of this, we'll give it a wiggle and pull it up and away from the vehicle. Now up along the front of your engine compartment, we're going to start dislodging this plastic panel. If you are looking at the radiator itself, you can see that there's a metal bracket with a rubber bushing. That bracket is holding this in place. There's a mounting bolt tucked underneath this area. You can sort of see it down through this port. We have the same thing on the other side. So let's do a little digging. We have some push clips that we're going to start removing. Now we do have some movement from here. Now if you were looking where this bracket is, straight forward, behind the front bumper cover, there's another push clip inside of this pocket. It's easiest to make my way down inside here. I'm just going to go ahead and start removing the center, just like always, to get this push clip out of here. Continuing on towards the center. There should be one located here. Now we're just heading over towards the other side of the engine compartment. We're just going to do the same exact thing as the other side. After you've got that one out, there should be another one in this corner here. Ours is missing. We'll continue on along the outer edge. This is along the front bumper cover. With all those push clips out of position, we're focusing close to the radiator now. On our plastic panel, it does have 2 locking tabs, one on either side, so we're just going to gently pry those out of place. Now that we have both of those broken free, we're heading towards the center, near where our hood latch is. Make your way into these rectangular ports. We have locking tabs. I'm just pressing those towards the rear of the vehicle. And now we can angle this up. We'll add support under here so we can gain access to our hardware, holding our upper radiator mounts in place. Now with that held up, we can continue on to our 12mm mounting bolts, holding each one of our upper radiator brackets in place. We're going to repeat the process on each side of the radiator. Go ahead and remove the bolt and the bracket. Now we're making our way under the front of the vehicle. We have to remove our lower splash shield. Now this is a fairly large splash shield, and there's going to be several pieces of mounting hardware holding it in position. You're going to find that you have push clips and mounting bolts. As far as push clips, if you are looking along either side, you're going to find that there's push clips holding our fender liners in place to the splash shield. We're going to remove those first. Go ahead and do both sides of the vehicle. Once you finish both sides, we're making our way towards the center of the splash shield. Now tucked up inside of these areas, you're going to find that you have a push pin that needs to be removed. There's one over here, and the same thing over towards the passenger side. Now we can make our way straight rearward. You can see 2 more here. Now as we make our way rearward, as you look outward as well, you're going to find that there's 2 12mm bolts inside of them. We'll save those for last. Continue rearward. We have 2 more push pins here along each side. Same on both sides, obviously. Now along the outside here, you can see that there's a push pin. You can remove that. Let's continue on. Same thing on both sides. In the center, we have a couple push clips here. This whole plastic panel should be able to come out. We can set that aside. There should be one here. Ours is missing. Same process. And now we can make our way towards our 12mm headed mounting bolts. Keep in mind, these are the last things holding this shield in place. Both bolts are out of position. Let's lower this splash shield. Looking down along the bottom of the radiator, we have this dislodged so we can look in between the radiator and this area here. This is where we can see the mounting bolt for our AC condenser holding it in place. We're going to separate the AC condenser from the radiator in this lower area. You're going to find that you have a 10mm bolt on either side. Just go ahead and push that foam out of the way. If you have to tear it, that's just sometimes what happens. There's one of my bolts. Now I'm going over towards the other side of the radiator. We're going to do this exact same thing. Now we can see where I am on the other side of the radiator. This one's a little bit more difficult to gain access to. Not very hard still. Now along each side of the radiator and AC condenser, they should be dislodged from each other. We can make our way safely out from under the vehicle and back into the engine compartment. Now up in the engine compartment, we're looking at the top of the radiator. On each upper corner, you're going to have a 10mm bolt holding the AC condenser to the radiator. Go ahead and remove each of those two bolts, one on each side. I'm just using a ratcheting wrench. Okay. There's that mounting bolt. Let's make our way over to the next side. A thorough inspection of all pieces of hardware, of course. We'll set those aside. At this point, we've separated the AC condenser from our radiator. We're carefully pressing the radiator towards the engine. We don't want to cause any damage. This is going to give us ample room to be able to start dislodging the AC condenser. Keep in mind, you do still have AC lines attached to that AC condenser, and each of those two lines will have to be removed before you can fully remove this. Prior to disconnecting the AC lines from the AC condenser, we want to dislodge it from this mounting point, located just below the battery tray. Some good news here is that sometimes the lines can be fairly difficult to gain access to. As far as the upper line, we can take this AC condenser, shimmy it up just enough that we can gain access down along the side of the battery here. We should be able to easily grab onto that 10mm headed bolt holding it in place. As we do this, let's be extremely careful not to cause any damage to our radiator cooling fins. This is extremely important. Now right in here is where we can see our 10mm bolt holding this in place. The bolt's out of there. We'll take hold of our AC high pressure line and carefully start rocking it out of position, pulling it away from our AC condenser. A little bit of vacuum pressure there, that's okay. Now look just below that. We can see our next AC line. For this one, the mounting hardware comes through from the front of the AC condenser towards the backside. So we're going to have to push that AC condenser towards the radiator now. We'll make our way along the front. Now up along the top, if you're using anything as a spacer here, of course you're going to remove that. We can take hold of that AC condenser, and as I mentioned, we're pushing it towards the radiator. Looking down in this area is where we can gain access to that 10mm bolt. Just using my 10mm ratchet wrench for this. There we are. Go ahead and dislodge that line as well. Okay, we have that separated. Let's go ahead and remove that AC condenser. There it is, friend. Now we're looking at our AC lines. On each one of your AC lines, you're going to find that you have a sealing O-ring. It has to be removed. We're going to clean the line itself and replace it with a brand new sealing O-ring. Once we do have that new O-ring on there, we'll continue on with some clean PAG oil, which is the lubricant you need for your AC system. When we're cleaning these, we are not using any type of detergent. We don't want anything foreign making its way into that AC system. Now I've got my brand new sealing O-ring. We're going to take that and we'll carefully bring it over the groove on our line. Now it is in place, I'm lubricating it. As I mentioned, I'm using clean PAG oil. Now I've completed one line. This one's fairly simple because you can have it up in the open. The next line is going to be down in this area. It's the same exact process. Just get some lubricant on there. Now at this point, let's prepare our brand new AC condenser. Now we're looking at the new AC condenser. I have it on its side so I can look at each of my two ports. While I have it on the side, I'm going to add 1 ounce of clean PAG oil directly into this upper port. We're going to wait a second for it to start making its way down through each one of these channels. Once we've added that, we can prepare for installation. Now that we have oil in there, I'm just reinserting my rubber plugs. I like to leave these in just a tiny bit. We don't want any fluid making its way out. Along each side of the radiator, we have a foam pad that we have to install. Now in your kit, you're going to find that it came with two different foam pads. The side that has the lines is going to be using this foam pad. Along the back side, you're going to find that you have sticky tape. So we're going to have to remove the backing from that. Now the next thing we want to do is attempt to align this. We want to make sure that we have the area for the line essentially in the center of this area. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just go ahead and line it up and press it onto the AC condenser. On the other side of the AC condenser, this is the top, we have our foam pad. Let's go ahead and remove that backing. Now for this one, we're going to be putting it in this orientation along what would be the forward side of the AC condenser. Just go ahead and align it, rest it in position, and press it on there. Let's get this in the vehicle. As we bring this into position, we're being extremely careful not to cause any damage to our cooling fins on the AC condenser or on our radiator. We're coming down at an angle and we'll just start sliding this down. Now obviously we still have to attach each one of our lines. We're going to start with the lowest line first. We can remove that lower plug. Now as far as the line, we're going to have to align it with the AC condenser and we're going to slide it straight inward. Align the mounting bolt port and start in that mounting bolt. We can make adjustments to the AC condenser as necessary, or even the line. Just be extremely careful not to cause any damage along the way. We've got that bolt started in, let's go ahead and snug it up. The torque for this is 5.5 foot-pounds, which essentially equates to 66 inch-pounds. Okay, right there's bottomed out. Got my torque wrench in here. Not much space. Should be able to get this on still. Perfect. On to the next line. We can remove that plug. Now we can get our line in place. We'll get it properly aligned, start in our mounting bolt, and the torque for this will also be 66 inch-pounds. Let's get that in there. I've got my mounting bolt already. Okay, that one's snug as well. Let's get our torque wrench in here. Not much space for this. If you can't get a torque wrench in, just make sure it's snug with your 1/4 inch ratchet. Now let's have a look down inside this area. As you remember, we dislodged our AC line from the body of the vehicle. Just go ahead and bring that into position and lock it down. Now we're going to focus on reattaching the AC condenser to our radiator. Now we can see the upper mounting points. I like to leave these here for now. We're going to make our way safely under the front of the vehicle and we're continuing on from under there. Now as we make our way under here, we're just above our front subframe. This is where we can see the radiator. We're going to have to adjust this to a point that we can gain access to the lower mounting hardware, holding the AC condenser in place. So I'm just going to lift this up. We'll shift it towards the engine as necessary, and then we can continue on with that hardware. Now along either side of the radiator and AC condenser, we need to obviously mount these two parts together. So we're looking for the mounting area. Once we have it aligned, we can start in our 10mm headed mounting bolts. After you have both of those started in, just go ahead and snug them up. And we'll repeat the process on the other side. They're both started in, let's snug them up. The next thing we have to do is set the ears along the bottom of the radiator down into their rubber mounts. We can see the rubber mounts, and looking at the bottom of the radiator, you can see the ears. Once it is in place, you should be able to see that locating tab down along the bottom of the rubber mount. Double check both sides. Now, of course, we do have upper hardware as well, but we're under the vehicle, so let's just continue on down here first. Now, one last quick inspection in this area to confirm everything's properly seated and mounted, and we can prepare to install our lower engine splash shield. Now, this does have two 12mm bolts that are going to hold it in place. That's what we're going to start with, but we are not tightening them yet. We still need to be able to shift this around as necessary. Now, those bolts will go inside of the circular ports. Now that we have those bolts in place, we're heading towards the back. Start getting some push clips in here, making our way rearward. Continue on with those push clips. over here. Let's get this one in here. Now we're all the way over on the other side of the vehicle here. We can put in our push pin. Now that we got that done, we're going to be focusing along each side of the splash shield. You can see that we have an area for 3 push clips. We'll be starting in this rearward corner. Now, as we're looking along the side here, you're going to find that there's actually 4 ports on the splash shield itself. We want to aim for the upper ports for each one of these push pins. Let's get this one. Double check this side, repeat the process on the other side, and then we're going to continue on along the front. Okay, this side's in. Now, as for the front, we had a couple push clips. These ones come in from an angle. Now we're lining this up with the upper ports as well. Our next push pin in here. Now we're making our way rearward. We have a couple push pin ports. Now we're making our way towards each one of our mounting bolts. We can tighten those up. Double check to confirm it's properly in place, and you can make your way out from under the vehicle. Now we're back up in the engine compartment here, and we're focusing along the top of the AC condenser and the radiator. It's time for the upper mounting hardware. Let's get things aligned here. We'll start it in and snug it up. Okay, we've got this so it looks like it's aligned. Let's start in that mounting bolt. Now I am going to leave this semi-loose so I can still maneuver things around. I have to go ahead and insert the other mounting bolt as well. Once both of them are installed, we'll snug them up. Okay, right there is bottomed out. Just take it a tiny bit further. We're not trying to cause any damage here. Let's get that next one. We'll just double check to make sure the AC condenser is perfectly secured to the radiator. Once we've done that, we can continue on with the upper radiator mounts. Now, as for the passenger side mount, that's the one that has this tab that protrudes out. Let's make sure that we align this with the tab up along the top of the radiator and our mounting bolt port. I like to use some anti-seize on the threaded port. There's one. Let's go ahead and snug it up, and we'll repeat the process for the driver's side. The driver's side mount does not have that tab. Bottomed out. Just a tiny bit further. Over on the other side, we have our mount. Once again, does not have a tab. Just gonna have to make my adjustment to this plastic so I can get this in place. Okay, bottomed out. Go ahead and remove anything that's holding this plastic up and out of the way. Now, as far as this plastic panel, it does have several locking tabs making their way across. We'll start on one side and make our way over. To help with these tabs, if you have a flat blade screwdriver, that will assist you to gently press this underneath the body of the vehicle. That's going to hold this plastic panel down. We're continuing towards the center, close to the hood latch. With that rested in place, let's continue on with our push pins. We're going to start up along that bumper cover. We want this held in place. Just go ahead and start in the outer portion of your push pin, lock it in with the center. Let's make our way all the way down across the front of the vehicle. Now we can make our way inboard. Now that we have that one in there, as we make our way over towards the other side of the hood latch, we're going to skip this port. Continuing on to this port here, we'll install our push pin. And as we make our way over towards the far corner on the passenger side, we are not doing this push pin either. Now we still have 2 more push clips to be installed. As you remember during the removal process, they're tucked inside of these ports. There's one here and there's one on the other side of the vehicle. Now this can be fairly difficult to get aligned. You can use some pliers if necessary. Just go ahead and line it up. We'll press it in. There we are. Now I'm just going to make sure I lock it in. We'll do the same on the other side. Let's just make sure that one's locked in as well. Now it's time for our inlet tube. This portion's going to go into the air filter housing. Just line it up, press it in. Once you have that aligned, we're focusing along the forward side next. We have the areas for our 2 push pins. Continue on with those push pins. Just line them up, press them in there, lock them down with the center. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our AC condenser. At this point, take your vehicle to a professional. Have them recharge the system. Make sure you tell them that you've already added 1 ounce of PAG oil to your system. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.